Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
What's going on? I am Scoots Brunson.
And I am S. Foster.
And this is the Viewers Anonymous podcast. What's going on with you, brother?
Man, just a little sore, man. Trying to do not even trying, I am. Well, in some people's eyes. It depends on where you view the shit. But trying to do the right thing, man. I actually went, man. Hey, I actually went and got the vax shot yesterday, man. I got my first one yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, man. I went and did it, man. You know, so I still got a sore left arm, but you know what I'm saying. But it was I gave it some time. I've always said, you know what I'm saying, I'm wait. I know some people who got it. Like, you know what I'm saying, the old lady got it. She got it way back in February. You know what I'm saying? My mom's got it. My dad got it. My sister got it. Mark got it. So it's just like, I spoke to everybody. So how everybody felt. Everybody said they good, this, that. I've been learning about it, learning more stuff about it. And then it's just like, with this Delta variant thing that's out now.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know what? I said, let me stop fucking around. So I went and got my first one. I get my second one on the 23rd of this month. So
okay.
So you know, just trying to do the right thing, man. Trying to do the right thing out here in these streets.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Congratulations, man. I don't have none of that joint. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get that one shot, bro. I'm waiting to the very last minute.
I was too. I was waiting. I was never gonna be the first in line. I can't think of anything where I was first in line. Like I ain't do like standing in line for Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't do that. Like
I'm letting them work all the bugs and the kinks out of that bad boy. And then that way, when that first wave turned into zombies or whatever they turned into, you know what I'm saying? I know that, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't a part of that crowd, man. I think eventually I'm gonna have to get it. My job, we've been talking about it here and there. There's been some murmurs about it, so I might end up having to get it just for my job. But yeah, I made a case to, you know, if it messed around with my livelihood, as far as, you know what I'm saying, how I get my money, I definitely gotta get it. But if I can go through without it, you know what I'm saying, then I will. But because I'm not partial to getting shots, you know what I'm saying. I'm not scared of them, but you know what I'm saying, I just know how it is when you take them shots, man. You know what I'm saying, you be sick, you be tore down so your body can get used to it. I don't be wanting to go through with that part. But I've talked to a few people who got it, you know what I'm saying, they ain't really had no issues with it or anything like that. So, yeah, I think if my job mess around and say that we got to get that thing, then I'm on my way to get it. It'll be Johnson & Johnson for me.
Hey, the funny thing, so my dad had got that one. Yeah. And Mark had got that one. Mark is now trying to do some research and talk to people about actually getting either Moderna or Pfizer, because he just feels that the Johnson & Johnson don't have, like, basically it's not as strong as the other ones, basically.
Right. Yeah.
So he was looking into and doing research on actually getting more. So I mean, it's all what people, you know. I decided to go with Pfizer, but I also know that it's not what some people seem to believe and think that it is. Like, I know it's not. I think the problem is the name. I think they shouldn't call it the COVID-19 vaccine, because it's not a COVID-19 vaccine. Like, all it does is just basically give your body, you know what I'm saying, the antibodies to fight it, so you don't be hospitalized, basically. Like
it's more like really a coronavirus vaccine.
No, it's not even a coronavirus vaccine. It was never a coronavirus. Like they've been working on this vax for years, but they started working on it.
What the fuck is it for then?
They started working on this when SARS had came.
Right, that's coronavirus.
And well, it's a different type of coronavirus.
Yeah.
And like basically all it is, it's just something they put in you to fight off infections, like better. Basically.
See, now I'm going back to the other side on that one. I don't know now, because if it ain't specifically for the coronavirus, then how the hell is this shit helping me fight off the coronavirus?
Because it's basically so you don't get.
It's basically an immune booster.
Yeah, that's all it is, an immune booster. Because it's like if you get it, right, without the shot, and you don't have like the antibody to fight it off, you can end up like Ebro's brother, where he was in ICU for like 6 months.
Right.
And then, you know what I'm saying, he had to learn how to walk again, talk again, all that type of shit. So, but if you got it and you get it, because that's the misconception, that's why I say it's not a COVID-19 shot, because you still can get COVID-19.
Right, you can still and you can still pass it on, right?
Yeah, but you just won't feel the effects of it, basically. Right.
You basically because it's I guess it depends on what you get too, because I know some people to get it and still get hospitalized too. So it's a lot of that's. I'm glad you said what you said. Do your research, because it's important to do that. That way, you know what I'm saying. You know exactly what you're getting into. I think that was very smart of you to go and talk to people who already got it, and then do your own independent research behind that. So I know for a fact that you didn't just jump into it. You know what I'm saying? This is something that you really took time to. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you really actually took the time to learn about it and do that type of stuff. And that's the same thing I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm wait till after you get your second one. You know what I'm saying? We definitely going to talk, because I need to know all the information. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm going to look through each one, man, and see what they talking about. But eventually I'm going to get it, man, because I think my job is going to crack down and they're going to hold off until, you know what I'm saying, like for everybody who don't got it, they're going to try to hold off and get everybody who has it.
Because and then, like, man, with this Delta variant or whatever, they saying it's starting to affect kids. You know, like when it's
big time.
So, and they have it at 12. And I talked to the lady that gave me my shot, and I told her, because my kids was with me, and I said, you know, I haven't spoke to their mother yet, but you know what I'm saying. But when I do, I said, you know, it's something that's on my mind. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to, but I just said it's something that, you know, that I thought about. And she was like, well, how old are they? I told them, and I was like, both of them got birthdays this year, and my youngest will be 12. And she was like, what I would do if you decide to go with it is just basically wait till he's 12, and then you can get both of them done at the same time. Boom, boom, boom. If I decide to do that. So, you know, and that's something else to even think about. But then at the same time, that's just like, because I was talking to my youngest, and because I said something about shots, and my oldest was like, yeah, I just got one, because he had to get that Hep B shot, you know, when he turned 13.
See, and that's what I'm saying, like, with them being that age, you know what I'm saying, they already getting vaccines and everything else like that. So I'm definitely going to look into it for their sake, because I believe that they might have to get to even go back to school now. So
that's another thing, might be a thing. So.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, because I was telling him, I said, you got one coming up when you 13 anyway, so it don't matter. Like, you're getting stuck either way. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to get that Hep B shot. So it's you know, I just did what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? Arm a little, still a little sore. You know what I'm saying? I think about.
You said what?
I think I'm going the other arm next time, man. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I mean, like, this ain't the first vaccine I done got. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for me, it ain't no thing to wear. Because at first I was like, when I first heard about what was going on and they just popped up with it, I was like, hell no, I ain't getting no vaccination shot. Like, nah, they keep that. And then I was like, if I do get it, I'll wait. And I was like, and I ain't rushing in to get nothing. I'm like, so far, you know what I'm saying, when everything was happening, I never caught it. So, you know what I'm saying, I'm one of the lucky ones to never catch it. And then I said, on top of that, you know what I'm saying, like, I got the cells of He-Man, so I really don't really have to get sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, getting sick really ain't a part of my repertoire, so.
See, you sound like me, and that's why, because you want to know the only thing I worried about, and then I got to finally ask you how you doing, is the fact of I have a pretty strong immune system. Like, I really don't get sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, even my ex, she had that shit. I don't know what it is, but, like, she would get strep throat, like, easy. Never had it before in my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I've always looked at it like I just don't get sick. Like, I've been at FedEx as long as I've been there. I really only called in, like, sick, like, 4 times going on 13 years. Like, I just don't really get sick like that. And I was just like, I hope it don't get me in a situation where it's like, oh, man, you know, I done got sick. And it's just like, I don't get sick that often. But, I mean, I think I'm going to be fine.
See,
I mean, I'm good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, because when you don't get sick like that, when you do get sick, man, you be sick. So.
Oh, yeah. When I'm sick, I'm down. Like, but see, even the last time, the last time I called in, though, that's when I had that damn vertigo shit. Now, that's just different. That shit right there was, that shit had me on my ass, but like, I couldn't, man, I couldn't lay down on my side. I couldn't lay on my back. Stomach didn't matter. Just everything started spinning, but I just had to throw up. But that shit was crazy. That shit was crazy. And I'm still fucked up, dude. I'll say this one thing. So when you walk into have you been to WonderWorks, the upside down house thing? Have you ever been to any of those? So basically, when you first walk in, it has this, it's not a wall, but it's like a tunnel, and it's spinning. You know what I'm saying? And it makes people.
Oh, it got the spiral paint on it.
Listen, my guy, I can't do it. I had to close my eyes and pull the rails because it's like I can't do it. But it's like that shit. It fucked up my equilibrium, and I can't do it. But I will say this. Now I'm gonna ask you how you doing. I found out because I thought I wasn't gonna be able to ride roller coasters. I still can ride roller coasters. The boy's still in business, so I'm happy about that. But anyway, how you doing? Everything good with you?
Man, I am amazing. But what? You too old to be riding roller coasters, bro.
Man, get the hell out of here, man. Listen.
You can still ride roller coasters, bro?
Yes, man. Yes, man. Roller coasters is shit, man. It gives you that rush, man. You gotta have that rush in your life, man. I'm telling you.
Bro, I had enough rush in my life. I don't need to get on a damn roller coaster to relive that. No.
You gotta have that feeling in your gut. Like when you going up and the clink, 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 and then you just looking, you getting higher and higher, and then that clink and stop. And then you already know. Here we go. Hey, that feeling, it's no feeling like that in the world, man. That's the only time you can get that feeling in your gut where you see that drop coming. And there's nothing that you can do but take it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like this was the first time my youngest, he rode a roller coaster for the first time. We went to Legoland. And so that was fun. But he ended up liking it. So but he's down for the thrill like me. So
that's what's up, man. But yeah, man, I've made it official. I'm way too old to get on roller coasters, brother. I'm done with that phase of my life. I'm cool, man. I don't want nothing to do with that. But yeah, man, everything going good, man. Creative juices is flowing. You know what I'm saying? We talked off air about some things, and you know what I'm saying? We got some stuff cooking up. We got some stuff in the works. Isolated Society, man. I got a new blueprint, new outline for that. So hopefully it goes the way I want it to go. On this next one, I'll be giving the people that information within the next few episodes. But for the time being, man, I ain't gonna lie, I'm excited, bro. Dipset versus the Lox tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's going down. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to see this versus. And then on top of that, man, my birthday is this week. And,
shit.
You know what I'm saying? Can't wait for that. You know what I'm saying? I'll be 33 this Thursday. I think I'll be 33 this
Thursday. You believe?
Yeah, I'll be 33 this Thursday. Yeah,
dude right
I'll be 30.
Hey, no, get the fuck out of here, man.
I'm dead serious, bro. I forgot how old I was, but no, I'll be 33 this Thursday, bro. So yeah, you know what I'm saying,
man. I've never forgotten. I've never forgot how old I was. I mean, and now I have like said like the year before.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like I just turned 34 and I might say 33, but nah, I'm 34. I mean, I've done that, but I've never just completely blanked.
No, I legit know I'm over 30. That's it. I know I'm not. I know it's not 30 to. I know it's not 30 or 31, but I have to. When I remember how old I am, I remember how old my little sister is first, and then if I forget her age, then my oldest son. That's how I remember how old he is. So he just turned 12, so I'll be 33.
This guy right here. I would say this though.
And then I'm 10 years older than my little sister, so I know she turned 23. So yeah.
And see, I am 11 years older than my nephew. That's how I always remember how old he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, but y'all, we gave y'all a bunch of just bullshit right there. So,
hey man, don't nobody at me either, bro.
Man, we talked a lot of bullshit right there, but so let's do what we came here to do. We doing, and also we changed the format for the people who follow, you know, us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You seen what we was doing. We actually put it out. We changed the format a little bit just to give y'all a little heads up of what we're doing. So even though we just came up with the music for coming soon, we still can do coming soon though. We still can play that. So
yeah, we definitely got to do coming soon. We just don't have to hide it from the people no more.
Yeah. So this is what I love about the movie that we're doing today. We're doing you already seen the title. We're doing the Tomorrow War. Well, Tomorrow War. It's not the Tomorrow War. Doing Tomorrow War, and this is what was very interesting and what I really liked about the movie. That this is a sci-fi movie, but this sci-fi movie gives you so much. So it gives you the sci-fi part. It gives you aliens. It gives you time travel. But not only does it give you time travel, like they try to throw some sense into it, right?
Yeah, they try to make it logical.
Yeah, and look, we're getting right into it because I'm here to pod today. So you remember the scene where, oh man, I ain't even prepared.
Oh
no. Foster, what's his name? What's the dad's name?
Dan.
So Dan Foster, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's talking to the black dude that is
Charlie.
I think it was Charlie, and he's like, "Yo, have you noticed everybody in here is, you know, close to 40 or over 40?" Mm-hmm. He was like, then you look at all of the young people, and they are the ones who basically like are in charge. And so he was like, why do you think that? He was like, I think what it is something about them being young, but like some of them, but they can't use people of a certain age because they weren't born yet. Because the whole thing is they can only do 28 years. And they explain it's just like, you know, imagine that you're on the river and we can only jump 28 years. Like we can take you there and take you back here. Same time period. We can't do anything else. So I like that the logic that they threw in there. Now, the question I have for you is, with them being able to tell you, because they told him when Dan had went in, it was like, yo, you're gonna die in 2027 or some shit like that, or 37 or 27, something like that. And it's just like, what would you, just in this instance, not from what happened from the movie, but what would you do if you was afforded that information, but then also you're talking to Charlie about what y'all talking about? What would your mind state be in that situation?
Okay, so initially, going into it, I ain't gonna lie to you. You know me, I'm a skeptic. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust not a lot of things the government says. Anything the government say, I'm very, very suspicious of. So this is the part for me, that it wasn't necessarily confusing, but it did kind of set me for, like, it did kind of keep me aware on that. I went alert on that one because it was the government of the current time period. I mean, the current time period that was telling them when they were going to die, right?
Yeah.
Right. So my thing was, how can the current government give them the information from, you know what I'm saying, like the future government would know? You know what I'm saying? So like when they was giving them the information about when they was gonna die, I think they was just using that as a way to get people over there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we could tell you when you're gonna die.
But this is the thing that you also got to realize.
Yeah.
I'm thinking where they're getting it from is from, let's call it the table of content from the jump from 28 years, right?
Right.
But you also got to look at this. So you remember when him and his daughter was talking, you know what I'm saying, when she was an adult, and she talked about how he died in a car accident. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if she didn't say the year.
Right.
But he did get confirmation that he died.
Yeah. I mean, everybody knows they're going to die.
Yeah, everybody knows you're going to die.
That ain't like a magic trick that they could just throw on you. Be like, what? That ain't nothing new.
I mean, true. I guess it would have been more comfortable if she would have said the year. Then I guess it would have been like,
that's what I'm saying. If she would have told him when it was or whatever, then that would have been a tad bit different. But outside of that, like for me, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't really like a definite thing. But also, you also got to remember too that everything could change now because now they know how to kill the monsters now. So if he's going back in time and then the outbreak happens or the invasion happens and then they just instantly kill him off, then what if that was the reason that he ended up dying in the car? You know what I'm saying? Like dying in the attack. I mean, in the attack, dying in the
car accident.
You know what I'm saying? Like we don't know what led up to him. Even we just know that they talking about you gonna die on this date in 2027, and then she was like, "Yeah, you died," and it was like, okay, but that wasn't like they didn't even try to work that in there. It was just like to me, I don't know. It just felt like the government was giving people that, like, because to me, I didn't even understand what was the point of even saying that you're gonna die in 2027.
Yeah, I thought that was dumb. I thought that was dumb as well to even say that. But like,
that was pointless.
So a synopsis of the movie is basically there's a soccer game going on. These people from the future just pop up on the fucking field. It's like, yo,
it's supposed to be the World Cup.
Yeah, the World Cup. So and then also it's one of the most popular, most watched games other than the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So the World Cup is going on. People pop up out of this fucking great ass galaxy looking thing. And so they pop up and it's like, yo, we're fighting a war in the future and we're losing and we need your help.
Mm-hmm.
And so Dan is some kind of scientist type of dude. Like he's applying for this job. He was a former Marines guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to get this job. He didn't get the position or whatever. So basically what the movie is there's a war that's going on 28 years later, and they're trying to fight these aliens to save civilization, basically, because they're just here to eat, and that's all it really is. So they're just here to terminate everything. So with that being said, to think about the concept of this, because it's like, for them to start, because it got to a point when they started drafting people.
Mm-hmm.
And because they had to make this treaty with the world to say that we're not fighting each other anymore. We have to fight these aliens.
Right.
And these aliens, wow. Listen.
Another level. They are another level.
If these motherfuckers like this vision of them, we fucked. Like we done. Like,
what I liked about them, what I liked about the aliens were the complexity. You know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't like the typical aliens that we used to seeing. So, like, you know what I'm saying? They were smart. They were very intelligent. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they was crawling and doing everything, they was actually shooting back at the people. You know what I'm saying? When the people were shooting them, they were shooting back. Or like if they was getting hit with bullets, they knew to turn their back because they had a hard exterior on their back. So it was protecting them from the bullets. And then they could still, you know what I'm saying, attack. I forgot how, I think they was, they had like real keen sense of hearing. So, you know what I'm saying? Like if something happened to one of them, they all could get to the point to where they was at. Like, when they went to go get the queen, they had a whole stampede of them coming, you know what I'm saying, to come save the queen. So it was a very interesting take on what aliens would look like in this movie.
Yo. But they spitting these goddamn darts, boy. I was like,
yeah.
When I first seen it, I was just like, yo, boy, to have something this fast, this quick, this smart, this vicious, it's like, because it really turned. I mean, like, dude, this was like that shit turned into a horror movie real quick.
Yeah,
like they was, man, it was just nuts. So. One dynamic that I wanted to speak to you about was the dynamic between Dan and his father, right? I know you're thinking, why would you skip his wife and his daughter? I just thought that this was interesting because the conversation that they had. So when he was first drafted, his wife is like, yo, let's run away, all this type of shit. And he was with it at first. She was like, do you know anybody? Look, you know the only person that can get you out of this situation. So he goes to his dad, James, and after his dad threw a drink on his ass because he thought that he was
he thought he had a wire on him.
Wearing a wire. But this is the funny part. The funny part was like, yo, you think that the government is gonna let me not get drafted to turn you in? I was like, yeah, dude, who do you think you are? You thought you was that important? That they were just gonna be like, yo, if you get us this guy, you out of the draft. So I thought that was funny for him to think that like they really out here looking for you. So
right.
But the dynamic that I wanted to talk about was because you've been around veterans, because I remember you saying that your uncle uncle that was on Already Home was a veteran. So basically, Dan has a bad relationship with his father, James, because when he got back from the Vietnam War, he wasn't the same. And he was like, yo, it was best for y'all to move on without me because basically I wasn't in that mindset to take care of y'all. Now, Dan's view on that was that he went out like a coward. I see both points, but where did you stand on that conversation?
I'm still on the fence about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely on the fence because I understand how Dan felt. You know what I'm saying? Dan wanted his father around. You know, it kind of sucks when you're a kid and then, you know, your dad comes from, you know what I'm saying, war already. You know, you worried about him dying over there. And then when he come back, all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, he basically abandoning everybody. And now, you know what I'm saying, you guys got to go through some struggle and go through what you go through because, you know what I'm saying, he ain't around. And then, you know, he ain't there to watch you play your games and watch you, you know what I'm saying, do anything. He wasn't there to, you know what I'm saying, shake your hand when you went off to the Marines and all that stuff. So I get Dan's point, but I also get James's point too. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I also get James's point too. Like, you know, coming from Nam, like that's a totally different thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that messed a lot of people up. So, you know, as much as Dan wanted his dad to be there, you know what I'm saying, his dad could have been one of those dads that wake up in the middle of the night, and, you know what I'm saying, because they shell shocked, and next thing you know, they got the whole house under hostage, you know what I'm saying, under a hostage situation, and you know what I'm saying, it might take him a minute to click in. You know what I mean? Ain't no telling what, like you said, what his mind state was. So, you know what I mean? I think it was best that was the case. Salute to them for letting that character even have the awareness and being keen enough to recognize that about himself, to even leave his family so he wouldn't have to, you know what I'm saying, let them suffer through that. I thought that was very interesting that they put that in there for James's character. But I'm on the fence, man. I kind of get both of their sides. But I might be leaning a little bit more towards James, knowing what we know about Vietnam, knowing what we know about people that came back from Vietnam, and everything that they've seen and some of the stuff that they've done. So, yeah, I totally understand both sides, though.
I feel the same way because it's like, do you want him to be around and basically be a shell of himself?
Yeah.
Because like
shit, or put a shell in you.
Exactly. Because then he could see you and might think, you know what I'm saying, you one of those, you know, Vietnamese kids. It's a tough. Yeah, it's it's a tough pill to swallow, man, because like I really got both points. And but at the time, Dan wasn't feeling it. He was just like, basically, you know, stop sending Christmas cards to my granddaughter. You're never going to meet her. You're never going to see her. You're never going to get a second chance. He took that route. And I mean, do I think that he was a little hard on him? But like sometimes, man, when you're young and something traumatic like that happens to you, and you really, really wanted, you know, one of your parents to be around, you can't tell nobody how to deal with that pain. You know, so he did it the best way that he felt, and he felt at that time it was best to call his dad a coward. But like you said, we both in the agreements there. I also thought that it was dope to see that dynamic between Dan and the young Miri, because you can tell that the intelligence level that he had, he taught a lot of it to her.
Yeah,
big time. He didn't really, and then this is the thing that a lot of people got to understand. It's like he didn't necessarily treat her like a kid. You know, that's like, you know, like that whole conversation of like, they say, don't baby talk to your baby. Right. You know, talk to your baby like it's any other person, because they say that helps them with their intelligence level. And he spoke to her and treated her like she was like a teenager. You know, it wasn't like, because I think she was 7. She was 9. She was 9. And so he spoke to her, but she also was advanced. She was a very advanced 9-year-old. Yeah. You know, like they had that conversation on the couch when he didn't tell her that he didn't get the job. He looked at his wife, and his wife saw his face, and she knew that he didn't, but she said the right things to her dad at that time. And he was like, yo, I'm supposed to be telling you this. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck that. When he broke the cord for outside, and he was like, I give you $10 if you don't tell. She was like, 20. That's how I knew. I'm like, oh yeah, she's a smart one.
Yeah, but then she also knew when he said, because when he got back from his dad and his wife, Emmy checked his arm and saw he still had that thing on his arm. Yeah. And she was like, you're not going now. And he was like, no, like, just think about what our life is going to be if we're going to be on the run from the government. And so he's like, you know, I got to do this. So she looks at him and says, you have to go tell her. So how that scene ended up going, like you mentioned, she was trying to dig a hole for something. I can't remember exactly what she was digging for. And so he was teaching her how to do it, and he broke the water line thing for the sprinklers. And he was like, $10 to tell your mom that you did it. And she was like 20. And he was like, all right. He was like, yo, I'm going on a trip. And she looked at him with these tears in her eyes. It's like, you got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And so like that just told you right there, just like, yo, like this girl, like she's really, really, really smart. And she's not
Yeah,
playing
she's far
around.
from a fool, man.
Oh yeah, so that was dope. And that's why we were not surprised of how she ended up turning out.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Going back a little bit to like you was basically when you was giving a synopsis of the story. They were watching the World Cup game, and then next thing you know, it's like this weird phenomenon happens. This big plasma ball pops up out of the sky. Next thing you know, people jumping, flying out of it, and you know what I'm saying? Some lady pops up talking about, you know what I'm saying, people of the past or the future or whatever. They said, we need your help. And this was also confusing to me. So they pop out, right? And like you said, they can only go from wherever they were, and then they just made it in time to where they was at, because they didn't have enough time to fully build the base, or to fully do whatever they was doing on the base. So wherever they was at, they just happened to land at that time period.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting to me, because when we actually see where they are and where the base and everything is, they don't have no protection for real. Like literally no protection. Did you see how easy it was for the aliens to climb up that wall and get into where the base was? So like for them to make it to that point, that was amazing.
It was.
Yeah, go ahead. I thought that was amazing, especially in that context.
I think so. I think so as well. It's just the only thing, like, this is what confuses me, is how we could be in present time. Like, who was the first person to go 28 years later and know that the population went down to 200,000 people? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did we know that there was even an alien invasion 28 years later?
Right.
Like, that's my whole thing. Is like, how do y'all even know this? Like, who was the person who went into the future 28 years and found out that there's these wild ass aliens that's whooping our ass?
That's the thing. They never went into the future. They went into the past.
How did they go into the past? Like, the movie started in 2022.
Right. But the people that came from the World Cup thing, they were people from the future. You know what I'm saying? So everything about them was from the future. Then they came to the past to alert them and tell them that they needed their help. So once they got linked up with everybody, they was jumping into the future.
That's why they were saying that the other people wasn't born yet.
Exactly. So that was the thing. That's why they said that everybody in that room at the time was 40 and up.
Yeah.
Because they had already been dead. And then everybody that was younger, they was getting trained to go do whatever it was that they was doing.
Yeah, that's why they were sending everybody 40, because they was like, yo, so basically everybody that got drafted, you was already dead before those 28 years anyway. So if you died, it wouldn't have mattered.
And see, that's why I said them telling them when they died didn't make sense, because now what if when they had went into the future and got the stuff, got the antidote to kill off the aliens, and they come back, and then now it happened, they kill the alien. What if they live past that now, because maybe one of them died due to the aliens or something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just didn't, to me, the telling of the death date thing never just made sense to me. That's it.
So what if it's telling them their death date to be like, for them to feel more like, all right, well, I'm going to die within this time period anyway, so I might as well give my all within doing this to try to save the world. I don't know. I mean,
see, I don't I don't look at that like that. Like, I don't think that happens only because the death date thing to me, it kind of ruins the whole situation. Like, if you tell me I'm dying on this specific date and then we jump in, hell, what if we jump in 2 weeks from now? So you mean to tell me I got to worry about in 2 weeks, nigga, I might die? I mean, I know they only there for 7 days, but still, like, I might die in 2 weeks from now. So I basically know how my whole thing rock. What if y'all, what if, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if the date got messed up for real? So I don't know. That just kind of threw me off. But them jumping into the future and actually seeing what they're going up against, I thought that was interesting too, because they had what is his name? They had Dorian, who was on technically like his third tour. So this is like the third time he's even been there doing it. You know what I'm saying? He done killed a couple of them. He's used to killing them. So, you know, he's kind of like the big shot out of everybody without really being the big shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of like the secret weapon in a sense. So what did you think about his character? Because it was interesting. They ain't really give us too much about him. But they gave us enough for us to know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he went the first time. When he went the first time, most of his team got took out. And then, you know what I'm saying, from that point on, he just made it his duty to just keep going back as many times as he could. So what did Dorian mean to you?
Dorian meant a lot, and I was about to bring Dorian up when you talked about the death date thing, because the reason that Dorian was going on his third tour was because he had cancer. Yep. So he was dying anyway. Yep. So he was just like, yo, I'm going to do as much as I can, kill as many of these things as I can, because like Dorian's whole thing was dying on his own terms. Yeah. Like he wanted to die the way that he wanted to die. Like he didn't want cancer to be like the death of him. I just think that he just wanted to basically die on his own terms. I thought it was dope because when he was going into it, he was saying like, yo, you go into this for yourself. Like he was telling Dan, like, yo, this ain't no hit squad. Like, you know, we out here for ourselves. Like, you can't train them to be like, yeah, you was in the Marines, but you can't train them to be Marines. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you can't be out here trying to save people. So he made that evident, but then at the same time, when there was time to save somebody, Dorian did. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the crazy thing too is they kind of like just threw them into the battle, bro. Like they didn't get them no training.
Well, true, but also at the same time, but when you have a movie, if everything goes like when you put a plan into the movie. If everything goes right, then it's not gonna really be a good movie. Like you gotta.
Well, no, like they could have gave him a training montage, man. They didn't even give him a training montage. They just was like, "Hey, here you guys go." You know what I'm saying? We gonna show y'all how to do some things. Oh no, y'all gotta go to battle. It's time for y'all to go shoot some stuff. Like that was not like they didn't get these niggas no trigger practice, no nothing.
True, but they were supposed to have that day to do it, but what ended up happening was that team that was already in the future got captured, and what Miri Foster wanted was she wanted that team to go in to try to save her lab team, basically, because they were trying to come up with this formula to kill, you know what I'm saying, these aliens, and it turned into a rescue mission, But what I was saying, according to plan, everything going according to plan was when they did the jump, something happened. And these motherfuckers started falling from the sky. That wasn't supposed to happen.
At all.
That was not supposed to happen.
At all, bro.
So they lost half of the team on them just
more than half of the team.
Yeah,
niggas
because
was falling on the side of the building, they were smacking the pavement. Luckily, you know what I'm saying, the ones that landed in the pool water did, but for the rest of them, boy, that was all bad, man.
Man, all bad. Because you're right, it's way more. Man, they lost like 70% of the people.
Tell me. Just
on the jump because of something happened while they were sending the people there. But I thought it was dope that Darian, wasn't it? Dorian.
Yeah.
I thought Dorian was a very interesting character, man. He was one of my favorite because he wasn't what they tried to like paint him to be. Like he tried to be like this. I mean, I don't want to call him a badass, but
nah, he was more like a introverted, hard nosed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
to the point kind of guy. When, like you said, in actuality, he wasn't really like that because you know what I'm saying. Like when they had came back from the original mission, he was making jokes with Charlie. You know what I'm saying? Him and Charlie was, you know what I'm saying, making jokes, and then Charlie was like, he said something to Dan. And he was like, yeah, you know, I can survive it. I can survive anything. I've been through this. And then, you know what I'm saying, he was messing with Charlie. He was like, no, you can't. You know what I'm saying? They both laughed and walked off. So, yeah, like it's an interesting way to see him kind of develop. And they kind of developed him super fast, too. Like that ain't a usual, you know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't like a usual thing. Like usually it takes a entire movie, you know what I'm saying, for a character to develop, that's especially with that complex of, you know what I'm saying, a background or a storyline or whatever. But for him, it was like boom, boom, and then it was like that's it. Another interesting point about this movie though, is the first part of the movie is probably about like what 25, maybe 20 minutes, and then the rest of it is literally them trying to figure out how to get this antidote.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's basically the story is them really trying to figure out this antidote because they end up catching the queen. Once they catch the queen, they realize that somehow she's detoxifying her body because they shooting them with some kind of poison or whatever. And all the worker, it's like, I guess it's like a beehive or whatever. All the workers end up dying, but the queen is the only one who survived, and she's the only one who ain't dead yet. So they find a way to capture her. They capture her. They get her blood or whatever, and then they trying to sedate her while everything happening. But after a while, the sedation start wearing off. The more and more they're giving it to her because her body getting used to it. So she wake up and it's hell to pay. You know what I'm saying? And that's when they get busy. As far as action scenes, was the lab scene or the very ending of getting him back to the launch pad, was which one of those scenes were the best to you?
As far as the action, I would say the best scene was when they, I mean, dude, it's kind of got to be when they attacked the facility, man. Like when they found out what a queen was.
That's what I was gonna say too.
But it got real, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, that's why I said, like, the way they got over them walls. That's why I said, bro, it's amazing that they was able to get as far back to get 28 years in the past with them still being able to get over the wall and attack them and do everything. Because it's like, if they wanted to, they could have just unleashed the all-out attack and then it would have never been nothing. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that they did enough work to be able to get 28 years down the line or 28 years back in line, like that's amazing.
It is. What was your favorite?
It's the same one. It's the one where, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, where Dan, they trying to get Dan to the launch pad so he can go back in time and basically talk to the scientists and get everything said and done. But I just thought that was super interesting, like, you know what I'm saying? Because the way that they made it seem was like that they had it all sealed off, you know what I'm saying? They ain't had to worry about none of that. But then it's like, soon as they found out that they had that queen and she was able to make that noise, it was like, yo, all that went to dust. All that was a wrap. They didn't care how high them walls was. They got up there and they, you know what I'm saying, they made it happen. They, you know what I'm saying, they attacked. What do you think of the aliens?
The aliens were, yo, these motherfuckers, man. it was what I really liked about the concept of the aliens was they didn't do anything that's already been done.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was the one great thing that I liked about it. Like they went with a whole different body type. They went with it's never been, well, at least I haven't seen one because I'm not the alien expert movie watcher, but you never really seen like aliens just out feeding on any and everything. So I thought that the direction that they took to take it to where they're down here now, they explain it. I was gonna get to it because I wanted to touch on another point, but as far as what I thought of them, I thought that it was great for them to come up with their own version because you never want to. I mean, you can take an idea that was great and try to do your own version of it and make it better, but it seemed like these people took their own version of aliens and made these motherfuckers like the ultimate killing machine. Because, like you said, they had these shields on their back where they would turn their back and the bullets would just bounce off. They could shoot these dart things at you, and it's just like they only really had like 2 or 3 vulnerable spots, like the head, the neck, and the stomach, and that was it. Like it was, dude, and they was extremely smart. Smart.
Yep. So, what was the point that you was gonna get into?
Okay, right. So, Dan and his team or whatever. So they had to do this. So they got the antidote thing that they wanted on that mission. So because he wasn't able to save the team, but they was able to get the antidote things that the colonel asked them to get. So they're running. They lost a lot of their team. Huge explosion because they were doing an airstrike. He wakes up in this hospital. He sees Charlie. Him and Charlie walk out. They see Darian, and so they're like, "Yo, Dan Foster." He was like, "Yo, what's up?" They was like, "Yo, the colonel wants to talk to you." So he goes over there, and he sees the colonel. And he looks at her, and so, but it's nothing yet. So then she's like, "I'm Colonel Forster." He's like, "Forster, huh?" And he's looking at her like, "Where your people from?" And then she said, "The same place your people from." And he's like, "How do you spell that, Forster?" And then she's like, "With 1 R, 2 R?" She's like 1 R. And so then it hits him because he realizes that he's 28 years in the future, and he realizes that it's Miri as an adult. He was like, "Yo, the last time I saw you, you were 9 years old." So I thought that was dope the way that they introduced that, but she brought him there for a reason. And that reason was he was the smartest person that she knew. And then she knew that technically he was there on borrowed time because in her lifetime, he's already died.
Yeah.
So what I thought was dope was for him to have a conversation with his grown ass daughter, and then to find out that she went to MIT, she got into the same field that he got into, but because of circumstances, she had to do that to even do her lab work because she had to basically turn her science brain into how to inject this mother alien so that her body couldn't fight off these toxins. So what did you think about that dynamic of the movie?
I thought that was dope, man. For them to bring that back around full circle. You know what I'm saying? For them to show the dynamic between those two early on in the movie, like literally damn near at the beginning of the movie and through, and you know what I'm saying, and throughout it, and then to also bring it around at the end, you know what I'm saying, with not just her, you know what I'm saying, basically being able to know him a little bit better, you know what I'm saying, but also with the fact that, you know what I'm saying, her knowing that he died already and then having to go back and get him and, you know what I'm saying, go through that process. So like, because remember, she told him, she was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, it was tough talking to you, you know what I'm saying, after what you did, you know what I'm saying, and then he had to find out everything and why they, you know what I'm saying, why she was mad at him and all those, you know what I'm saying, everything like that. So for them two to end up basically getting to know each other, coming together and building and fixing their relationship. Oh, especially over trying to save the world, basically by finding out this antidote. It just made it that much better. You know what I'm saying? It made that dynamic that much better. It made you, you know what I'm saying, smile on the inside. Like, damn, like that's dope as hell. They got, you know what I'm saying, come back together, and then he actually got to see his daughter grow up. You know what I'm saying? He got to see his daughter as an adult and what she, you know what I'm saying, what she accomplished, what she could become. So, you know what I'm saying, that kind of gave you like some chills too. Like, damn, like how would it, you know what I'm saying, how would that be if I was in that situation? So it was interesting to see, but I liked it though.
Man, I can imagine like seeing my kid, like looking at him one day 14, and then next thing you know, this motherfucker 40 something. Just like, it's like
crazy.
What? That's crazy. Like, yeah, that was wild, and I love that dynamic. And then also for her to tell him that he ended up doing the same thing his father did, and I thought that also made him look at his father different, to realize that, yo, like I ended up doing the same thing. I did the same thing that he did. And what I'm thinking is, well, what I'm wondering was that the version of him that left, I wonder, was it the version of him after? Well, it had to be. I don't know. See, that's what confused me was, did he ever go off to war, or just something just happened? No, I know what it was. Never mind. I'm sorry. I know what it was. After he got denied of that job, he basically fell in depression. Like, because he didn't get to get that job, and I'm thinking that it affected him so much that he was basically just living in limbo, and then just ended up really like leaving his family because he was so broken up and distraught about not getting that job. So I think that was the version that she lived through, and his wife had went through. So, but to piggyback off what you were saying, they was able to come up with this antidote, and he was able to bring it back to present time. Yeah. Now, what I thought was dope was, so they get to the airport, they bring him home, and like he's like shell shocked. You know what I'm saying? Right. His wife is giving him a hug, he's shaking, and like he don't even really know how to interact with her. But when he saw his daughter, like he was just enamored with seeing his daughter.
And he remembered what she said.
Yeah. And what I liked about it was when they were at home and his wife woke up and he wasn't in the bed, he was sitting there watching his daughter sleep. And so him and his wife started having a conversation. And so she was like, he tells her, like, yo, Miri was there. She's like, what you mean Miri was there? Like, our grown ass daughter was there. And like, she was basically running things. She gave me the antidote that I can't even do nothing with because of the portal thing. The transport them from time to time was damaged when they attacked the facility because it went offline. So she comes up with a great idea of, oh man, I forgot what her idea was. So he ended up going to Darian, and then Darian and him ended up going to Charlie. So Charlie works at this lab and he needed Darian's claw thing.
Yeah.
And come to find out, the claw thing had ash all over it from the volcano. So they were like, "Yo, do you know any volcano experts?" Yo, hey, I love that kid because okay, so we wind for a second. So when he was teaching in class, and he asked a question, and one person raised their hand. He was like, "Do anybody else want to say something?" Anybody. Nobody raised their hand because they're like, "Yo, all you talk about is volcanoes, my guy. Like we don't care. Like we do not care about volcanoes. That's all you talk about." Right. So they asked him. So fast forward back, they're like, "Yo, do you know any volcano experts?" This motherfucker go to class, and that kid, yo, listen. I know it's cheesy, but I love when they have like a kid turn out to be like the person that gives you that answer to solve a problem. I thought that was dope. I love how they put that in there like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and then they saved the damn day.
Man, hold on, you can't just say it like that, man.
They did.
I mean, yeah, it did, but like, I mean, what they ended up doing was the kid gave them the answer of like, how does pinpoint where it came from, and then come to find out the whole moral of the story is these motherfuckers been here. Not only have they been here, they crashed here decades upon decades ago, because they were saying what they found in the claw was it was old volcano ash, but it also had like ice, like particles of ice. So they was like, yo, like they didn't. That was like, how could they have claws? How could they have ash under their claws? And it was like they wasn't digging down; they was digging up because they was buried. They was ended up being buried here. But at the same time, they was like, well, what took them so much time to do something? Because these motherfuckers had to thaw out. So we're talking about not only are these motherfuckers as vicious as they are, is that they could be froze to death.
And still
fall
survive.
out and still survive.
Bless
you. It's crazy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ooh. That's wild.
Yeah.
These more serious.
Speaking of this, right? Because this is an interesting thing. We're gonna go on a tangent real quick. So all this shit that's happening in Alaska and in the Arctic and in Antarctica and all this, how glaciers is melting and all that. Do you think that it's a possibility that it could be something like that in one of these glaciers?
Dude, I think that is a possibility that these. Okay, I got a great question for you, and you already heard the question because I know you listened to Brilliant Idiots last week. So I'm gonna propose this question to you because I think we can combo this.
Okay.
Would you rather have 25% of space discovered or the bottom of the ocean discovered? 100%. 100% of the ocean discovered.
100% of the ocean. I don't give a damn about space.
See, I said the same thing. The reason I say that is because you just said the ice of the glaciers. Could these motherfuckers be at the bottom of the ocean too?
Yeah, you're right about that. That's actually a good point. But no, I'm just saying, like, because as far as just going off of what they said, like, they had to thaw out and then they had to climb through the volcanoes. But I'm just saying, like, because what I'm saying, like, I've been seeing reports to where like they found like a million-year-old disease what's something that they think is a disease. They found like the worm that was around during the dinosaurs and like all this other stuff. And I'm like, man, they finding a whole bunch of shit in Antarctica that they ain't supposed to be finding. So True. I'm just saying, like, they get in that ocean, they really gonna find something.
This is true. This is true. But to go off of the concept of the movie, like, yo, I don't think it's far fetched because it's like there's always these theories of what if aliens was walking among us,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like we always are expecting to be like, yo, we didn't see nothing come from the sky. There's nothing. It's like, well, what if they're already here? And it's what if they came? What if they are somewhere hiding out at the bottom of a frozen volcano or some shit? And it's just like they come up whenever they feel like it and get enamored with our world, learn us, learn our mannerisms, know how we are. They know how calculated we are, like all that type stuff. I don't think it's the farthest fetched idea because I was always under the belief of you really want us to believe. So y'all say that y'all was able to get all of these advanced cameras out here and discover like 9, 10 planets, however it is.
You know my stance. I've been saying the same thing, bro. You telling me you get all the way up in space, go to the moon and do all this, but you can't go all the way to the bottom of the ocean, bro?
I mean, that too, but well, they have machines that could go down as far as like they got pictures of the Titanic. You know what I'm saying? So they're able to go that deep.
The Titanic ain't like nowhere near the bottom of the ocean though.
I mean, it's like, at the bottom of the ocean, but it's at the bottom of the Atlantic.
That's what I'm saying. That ain't the bottom. Like that's not the furthest point of the ocean though.
Yeah, I mean the furthest point could probably be in the Pacific or something.
That's what I'm saying. So you mean to tell me you can get all the way down there to see the Titanic? I mean, that's cool and all, but it's parts of the ocean that's so deep to where light don't even reach them.
True, and it's pressurized to the point where it probably crushed even the machine that's just sitting down there.
That's what I'm saying. So how the hell can you get a camera all the way to the moon? How can you get a rocket ship all the way to the moon? So think about this though, right? Because the further you go up in the air, it's supposed to be the opposite of the further you go down into Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you go all the way down in the water, that's crushing you. That means that if you go all the way up in the air, that's supposed to expand you, right?
If you believe that's the theory, then I would believe so.
Okay, so if that's the thing, how the hell you get all the way to the moon without blowing up?
That I don't know, because from the way that they do it is just like you got to have those 2 rockets on top of like the 2 or 3 that's already on the actual plane. Then they drop the one things, and then that's my thing. Do they pick those damn things up? Like those big ass rocket things that they just drop off? Like, do somebody go clean that shit up?
But I got I'm with you on that. I don't know. We got to look into that. But I got another question too, right? So, and this is one thing I always thought about. I never told this to anybody, but I always thought about this, right? So they say that there's no oxygen in space, right?
That's what they say.
That's the thing. There's no oxygen in space. So how the hell can they shoot a rocket and then have it use engine fuel in space if it ain't no oxygen? It wouldn't burn if it wasn't no oxygen.
I don't know. Because
fire need oxygen to burn, right?
That it does. And what I don't know, because I've never researched anything in that capacity. Like I'm about the conspiracies. Like I don't have anything to back what I think or what I say. So I'm not sure how it does that. But the point that I was gonna make though was if y'all can give us pictures of Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, Neptune, Mars, all this type of shit, right? So as far as we know, there are different planets out there. As far as we know. And you're saying that Earth is the only one that got living quote unquote beings or whatever.
Hey man, I'm with you on this one. Don't make no sense to me.
That's why I've always felt this thing of like, yo, like how you gonna tell me we are the only one? So that's why like I would say it's not far fetched that these motherfuckers are here hiding out, either waiting for the perfect time, or maybe they just chilling, because they could be just chilling. Like, look, these humans, they might be looking at us like, yo, they dumb as fuck. So we just gonna sit here,
man, I'm trying to tell you,
and we gonna wait it out, because they're gonna all kill themselves, and we can just take over this planet. You know what I'm saying? They could just be waiting on our own destruction, and or a situation where the air or whatever gets so polluted or whatever. I mean, like, we could be our own demise. You know what I'm saying? It could be a situation where we could fuck up the air so much to the point where we can't breathe here. They now, been able to adjust to breathing any kind of air, and they'll be good. So I don't know, dude. I got a whole bunch of like alien little theories, but what you saying,
I'm
like,
with you.
But for me to try to make sense of like how oxygen could burn up there when there's I'm not well versed in that type shit. I can give you these theories all day, but like I'm not. I ain't gonna say smart enough. It's just I never researched of like how they're able to make it to the moon, if they made it to the moon, and
Definitely
all that little stuff. So I'm just really just tripping off of, because I remember like 5, maybe 8 years ago, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was either Pluto or Neptune was quote unquote the furthest planet away from the sun.
Pluto. And then
it was Pluto. Then they discovered a new one.
It wasn't a planet. No, they said it wasn't a planet. It was like a dwarf star or something like that. And then you're right. Then after that, they said it's another planet out there. I forgot what name it was called, but it was another planet behind Pluto that they found. But I'm like, man, I don't believe in none of that stuff, bro. Like, ain't no way how it's gonna be a planet all these years. You done made us remember all these planets. Now all of a sudden Pluto ain't no damn planet.
Yeah, this is the solar system, kids, and then it's like, we was wrong about the solar system.
And then they talking about people buying stars and stuff. How you buy a star?
Fuck out of here.
That's another time for another podcast. But like I said, we was gonna go off on the tangent. I knew, that's why I went ahead and gave that little disclaimer out, man. But it's Fire Flame time, man. Are you ready?
Oh yeah, let's go.
Let's get busy.
Yoga Fire, Yoga Flame.
All right, man. So for God dang it. I was on a roll. So for those of y'all, man, that's new, what we do here is called the Fire Flame. It's basically where we give our rating from 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst, of, you know what I'm saying, the Fire Flame emojis. And we do this with every movie, every TV show. So, I took the first. I think I went first last time. I think it's on you.
Did. It's on me. Watching this movie, man, and then finding out like, dude, they already on a sequel. So I think that's dope. I think the way that it ended, I think that was dope. That that his dad, Dorian, died the way he wanted to die, took the whole plane out or whatever. But I love how they came up with their own ideas. I love how they came up with where it wasn't just a sci-fi movie that was about aliens. They added time travel. They added whole new concepts and all that type stuff. I love the way they was able to figure that out. They had good actors. Everybody know. You know what I'm saying? The main man, Chris Pratt. I can't say old girl name. I'm not even gonna try. But she fine as hell though. He had J.K. Simmons in there, Sam Richardson, Edwin Hodge. You know what I'm saying? We all know his brother. You know what I'm saying? So it was great to see him, in here as well.
That's Aldous Hodge's brother.
Yeah, they look just alike.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was looking. I seen Edwin Hodge. I'm like, man, okay, that's what's up.
Yeah. So I mean, they had a good cast. But you know, with them already working on a new one, I mean, obviously they gotta. You can be able to bring these people back. Nobody but Chris Pratt. But nah, man. Honestly,
Miri back.
You could bring Miri back, but my only thing about the sequel is okay. That's gonna take us down a whole nother wormhole. But
real quick. I think the sequel is basically going to be the prequel, if that make any sense. So they'll
like
basically show,
this.
Yeah, like they'll basically show from the time that, you know what I'm saying, like when she was a kid to growing up into that, and then them coming up with the way to go back 28 years later. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
it's definitely gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie, it caught fire, and to the point where they're like, "Yo, let's go ahead, get into this bag, and put another one out real quick." So but honestly, I like the concept of it. I'm gonna give it, man. I'm gonna give it a 4, man. I wasn't mad at it. I like what I watched, man. And then like I said earlier, like dude, this was like a sci-fi / horror movie, man. Like these aliens wasn't playing. Like and then dude, they adapt. Do you remember the scene when they was trying to capture the female one, and then when they finally captured her, these motherfuckers start jumping off the ledge, and they start that thing to start flying.
Yeah, no, but not even that. Not even that. The fact that, remember when they was going down the tunnel stairs, you know what I'm saying? They kept going around when they was getting shot. They was literally walking and then turning their back to the shot and then turning back around when they was reloading. So yeah, they was, like you said, they was smart as heck, bro.
Yeah, they was. Yeah. They was. But I'm gonna give them a 4, man.
Okay. So for me, man, I like the cast. You know what I'm saying? J.K. Simmons, you can never go wrong with him, Ohio native. You know what I'm saying? Chris Pratt in the middle of, you know what I'm saying, doing his thing with Marvel. He came and gave us an extra movie, which is also cool. You know what I'm saying? What is his name? I gotta shout him out. Sam Richardson. Sam Richardson, the first time I ever saw him was Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, or whatever that movie is called. But he was playing their sister's fiance, who was the one that was getting married. And he did great in that movie. That's my first time seeing him. Him being comic relief is great. Like, he is hilarious. So he did a great job in it. Now that I know that this is Aldous Hodge's brother, it makes sense as to why he played the part he played. But the story was amazing. The graphics were amazing. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't too CGI-ish. You know what I'm saying? It didn't look too they didn't try to make it look so real. They ended up making it look fake. I thought it was dope on the fact that the aliens was actually killing people, and not like, you know, it was barely one where, you know, somebody almost got and didn't get got. Like, they was off rip going into it. The action in it was great. I like the twist of, you know what I'm saying, him going into the future and meeting his daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that was dope. It was a few things that I didn't like here and there, but it wasn't really anything that was too bad. I'm giving it a 4.5.
Okay, you put the half on that bad boy. Okay,
I'm giving it a 4.5. I highly recommend this movie to anybody that wants to watch, bro. This is pretty good. And then on top of that, it was an Amazon Prime joint. Like I said, they didn't miss between this and Without Remorse, man. They have not missed. They did 2 great jobs on these last 2 movies.
They did. I'm with you on that one. They really doing a really good job, man. But you remember I told you I felt like when it came to the bidding war, it felt like a Netflix movie. But I just think Amazon just beat them out. You know what I'm saying? I really feel like Amazon beat them out. But Amazon made a good decision. They made a real great decision on that.
Big time. Coming soon. You ready?
Yeah, man. So how we gonna do it? Oh, you gotta play the music. My bad.
Yep. You good?
Coming soon. Coming soon.
Yeah, man. So usually, you know what I'm saying, we give y'all guys hints about how we're gonna come up with these shows. I mean, what we got going on next, what's the next episode. But you guys already know we are doing the documentary Evil Genius on Netflix. Real quick synopsis, man. It's about a lady who basically flirts with this dude, and she gets him to do her dirty bidding, and she is literally an evil genius. This is one of the most shocking documentaries I have ever watched. I'm not gonna lie to you, because nothing about her looks like she could flirt with anything or anybody. So the fact that she got this off the dude, I was baffled through this whole thing. So what about you, bro? What's up, man?
But it all started from a bank robbery where a dude had a bomb around his neck. And a lot of times people might say, yo, I got a bomb around my neck. No. This motherfucker actually had a bomb around his neck with a timer and it blew up. So
and they showed it.
Yeah, that's man. Okay, we'll talk about it.
That's what threw me for the loop. That shit came and I was like, oh shit, what is this? So Friday, so, man, y'all stay tuned.
Yeah, man, stay tuned. We got one coming for you, man. On this one gonna bring the heat. It's gonna be a lot of information thrown at you real quickly, and it's gonna be fun to do, man. So this was a really great watch. And if I were y'all, if y'all listen to this on this basically this Wednesday, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need to get these 5-6 episodes in, because it's really a great watch.
Right. That way y'all be able to keep up with what's going on. And then if not, man, make sure y'all go watch it. Also, man, if you haven't seen it yet and you listening to this, go check out Tomorrow War. Yeah, man, that's the one, man.
Yes, sir.
First and foremost, man, shout out to VJ. You know what I'm saying? She shouted us out on her Murder V Wrote pod that she just did, came out today. She did it on, what's dude's name? Hold on. Robert Hansen, the Butcher Baker of Alaska. Y'all go check that out. It's on all pods. It's called Murder V Wrote. That's V with 2 E's. Y'all can check that out on all podcast platforms, mainly Apple and Spotify. You can also check it out. You can follow her at VJ_Burton. Go follow her on Twitter. Show her some love. Follow the podcast as well at Murder V Pod. And follow me on Twitter at Scoots Bronson. On Instagram, ScootsBronson_TV. You can also check out 15 Minutes of Fame, my other podcast, and you can follow us on Instagram at ViewAnonPod. You can also go to Facebook, follow us, and join up as well if you use Facebook at VA Pod Watch Group.
Yes, sir, man. Y'all can follow me at S.Foster8 on Instagram and Twitter. Same handle, 28 Minutes or Less Pod on Instagram, 28 Minutes or Less on Facebook. Let me see. I put out a 28 minute. Well, the last 28 minutes or less I put out is still the one that I did on Lorenzo Fat Cat Nichols by the American Gangster episode of season 1. So go check that out on all major platforms.
Yes, sir. Man, listen. We got something cooking up right now. We got big announcements coming. Like I said, within these next few episodes, Isolated Society, and we also got something else that we in the works working on. So you guys stay tuned, man. You guys keep your ears open, keep your eyes peeled, ears open, and we'll be getting y'all very soon. Make sure y'all hitting up them socials. Make sure y'all hitting us up, man, and keep date. So, with that said, thank you guys for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. See you guys Friday. This is Viewers Anonymous. Like they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.
Cut.